It's Tuesday, July 16. In the headlines, Jamaica's domestic economy has increased by 1.4%. NSWMA urges patience as garbage collection continues post-Hurricane Beryl. In business news, Proven reports year-end net profit. Regionally, Caribbean Airlines launches new route to Puerto Rico. And in sports, cricketer Hayley Matthews returns to Renegades for third season. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Jamaica's domestic economy grew by 1.4% during the January to March 2024 quarter, relative to the corresponding period last year. That data was published on Monday in the Statistical Institute of Jamaica's quarterly gross domestic product report. Statin says the outturn for the review period was spurred by 1.9% growth in the goods-producing industry and a 1.3% point expansion in the services industry. The report says the goods-producing industry was primarily driven by increased output recorded for mining and quarrying, up 18.7%, and agriculture, forestry, and fishing, up 7.4%. Hotels and restaurants saw a growth increase by 6.9%, followed by electricity and water supply, up 6.5%. Transport, storage, and communication, up 3.5%. Other services went up by 2.6%. Finance and insurance services up 2.2%, and real estate, renting, and business activities went up by 0.3%. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company Limited, JUTC's fleet has been increased with 100 new buses set to be commissioned into service. The new compressed natural gas buses arrived in the island on Monday with a price tag of approximately $20 million. They were transported to the Portmore Depot after being cleared at the Kingston Wharves. Minister of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport Daryl Vaz was there.
Jamaica will recall that I asked the country to be patient and give me 6 months, and they would see marked improvement in the JUTC service. With these 100 buses, we are going to get the waiting time down in the corporate area, the Kingston Metropolitan Transport Region area, to 45 minutes, with a view, Minister Clark, that when we get the next set of buses, we want to go down to 20 minutes.
Minister Vaz says adding buses to the fleet is just one part of the push to improve service. He says the entity is looking to introduce an application that will better enable members of the public to organize their commute. Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, who was also on hand for the arrival of the units, said the acquisition of the buses is an indicator of the country's strong macroeconomic position. We will get to everyone, but we can't get to everyone at once. Those words from Executive Director of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, Audley Gordon. He's asking members of the public to be understanding as the agency continues its efforts to clean up the debris left after the passage of Hurricane Beryl.
So I want to just encourage calm and understanding in this time. We are out on almost a 24-hour basis, trying to reach the debris wherever they are.
He says the authority now has additional tipper trucks and contractors to increase the speed of post-hurricane cleanup efforts.
We only had 5 before, now we got another 10, so we have 15 tipper trucks of our own spread out across the various regions. And we also engage private tipper trucks to help in this exercise.
He notes that his team is working alongside other agencies in clearing debris left by the recent passage of the Category 4 hurricane.
But you also have the garbage resulting from the hurricane burial, which is mostly trees that have fallen, branches and other debris that, would have been blown from wherever they are. And, we have to get them together and get them off our streets also and out of our communities. So with that, we have seen where the NWA is out there. We have seen fire. Fire was out from early, as you know. I think the first set of trees that were cut in terms of cutting up to clear roads and to create one lane.
Mr. Gordon explains that hurricane cleanup efforts are being done along with regular garbage collection. He explains that team members are often delayed due to the lack of proper containment of domestic garbage.
The main challenge now is the pockets where we don't have the discipline to properly containerize the garbage as it should. I make this comparison every time. One bag of garbage scattered out give us more trouble than 20 bags of garbage properly containerized. Because when it's properly containerized, our crew come, they just take it up, put it in the truck, put it in the truck, and we're moving. When it's scattered, we have to rake it up, put it into, get it into the truck.
The NSWMA boss was speaking on JIS's Get the Facts program recently. The Jamaica Teachers Association warns that Hurricane Beryl may cause major disruptions to the September school year, with the Ministry of Education estimating nearly $1 billion in damage to schools. Danita Rodney tells us more.
Speaking in an interview, JTA President Leighton Johnson recommended that the ministry establish a special fund to address natural disasters like hurricanes, earthquakes, floods, and fires that could damage or destroy school infrastructure.
The damages done to several schools were extensive and will require significant amounts of money to effect repairs. We are urging the Ministry of Education to expedite the process of assessing the damage done to these institutions to ascertain the true cost of repairs. The summer holidays presents a very small window for these repairs to be effected.
Mr. Johnson once again urged the Education Ministry to consider insuring schools against disasters.
Once again, we are making the call for the Ministry of Education to establish an emergency fund to be activated when schools are faced with eventualities such as hurricanes, earthquakes, flooding, and fires. It is also necessary for the Ministry of Education to now consider the process of insuring our schools against these eventualities. This will improve the sector's resilience in the face of these natural disasters.
He also proposed that the Education Ministry fast-track low-level contracts to repair affected schools, particularly early childhood institutions.
We're encouraging the Ministry of Education to revisit the process of service-level contracts, where schools are funded to carry out minor works and projects that fall below the stipulated limited procurement threshold. Allowing these schools to contract these minor projects will guarantee a speedier recovery time in getting the schools that were impacted ready or as close to being ready for September.
He emphasized that immediate attention is needed for damaged primary and infant schools, as these institutions receive minimal maintenance funds and will struggle to complete repairs in time. Our news team traveled to Milk River in Clarendon to visit one of these damaged facilities.
I'm standing at what's left of the Grade 1 building here at the Milk River Primary School in Clarendon. Hurricane Beryl's strong wind ripped the roof off this building, taking with it all the learning paraphernalia that were on the wall. What's inside the building now? Nothing but debris.
The Grade 6 block also lost its roof and suffered water damage. We were told that it would cost thousands of dollars to repair the damage. However, representatives from the Ministry of Education have visited the school to assess the damage. Minister of Education Favour Williams has said that preliminary estimates have indicated that Hurricane Beryl caused nearly $800 million in damage to Jamaica's education sector.
Sickle cell disease is an inherited blood disorder marked by defective hemoglobin. It inhibits the ability of hemoglobin in red blood cells to carry oxygen. Sickle cells tend to stick together, blocking small blood cells, causing painful and damaging complications. In this Living Healthy report, we share information about the services that are offered to persons living with this illness in Jamaica.
Hi, I'm Dr. Simone Spence, Director for the Health Promotion and Protection Branch here in the Ministry of Health and Wellness. And today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about the health services we have to offer for persons living with sickle cell disease. Free health care is available for persons living with sickle cell disease in public health facilities island-wide. Services include routine care visits for sickle cell disease at primary health care facilities, including health checks, dressings for ulcers, guidance on reducing complications, and the use of medications for sickle cell disease care. Treatment to reduce the risk of infections, including special immunization for adults and children, and antibiotics. Mental health support, including mental health clinics and a 24-hour mental health helpline. Call 888-NEW-LIFE. Dental care, specialist care including antenatal, eye, kidney, and orthopedic clinics, non-communicable disease screening, social services, and adolescent clinics. There are also support agencies that provide additional benefits for healthcare for persons living with sickle cell disease. Ask your doctor about grants available through the Chase Fund, Compassionate Fund, and other support agencies in Jamaica. The Sickle Cell Unit at the University of the West Indies continues to provide care for persons living with sickle cell disease across Jamaica and collaborates with the Ministry of Health and Wellness for referrals as needed. The National Health Fund provides free of cost a list of drugs for persons accessing care in the public sector, as well as those accessing care at the Sickle Cell Unit. The NHF also provides discounts and subsidies for a number of drugs for persons living with sickle cell disease who access care outside of the public sector. A double subsidy is available for persons living with sickle cell disease under 19 years old. Take along your TRN card and talk to your healthcare provider about signing up, either online or at your doctor's office. If you have questions to ask about the sickle cell disease program in Jamaica, visit our webpage at ncdip.moh.gov.jm. Sickle Cell Unit at 876-927-2471 or their social media handle at Sickle Cell Unit JA.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, your guide through the latest happenings in the world of business. Proven reports year-end net profit attributable to shareholders of US $12.32 million. Proven in their financial statements noted widening of interest rate spreads, mainly from the banking division, and improved performance from our subsidiaries and associated companies within the group drove the revenue expansion for the financial year. According to the company's financial statement, this year's results were primarily due to Proven's profits from its ownership of shares in JMMB Group Limited. JMMB's performance for the financial year, which included an extraordinary gain from their share of Sagicor financial results, is what drove Proven's profits, management highlighted. Wigton Wind Farm says a preliminary review of its operations in Rose Hill, Manchester, following the passage of Hurricane Beryl, has confirmed that the wind turbines and warehouses sustained some damage. The company says it is actively taking steps to complete a comprehensive assessment to enable the restoration of operations to normal capacity. Wigton says it does not anticipate any significant impact on the business performance of the company for the year ending March 31, 2025, as a result of the hurricane. During trading for the period of July 15, 2024, the following companies represent the top 3 most active stocks that investors bought and sold on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Food and beverage distributor Deramon Trading Company Limited, with 1,275,931 units, amounted to 14.76% of the market volume in terms of equity sales. PVC pipe manufacturer Omni Industries Limited, with 1,168,197 units, amounted to 13.44% of the market volume in terms of equity sales. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited, with 778,196 units, amounted to 8.95% of the market volume in terms of equity sales. Over on the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, trading on July 15, 2024, registered a volume of 225,563 shares, crossing the floor of the exchange valued at $7,243,529 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 58 cents. Ansa McCall Limited was the volume leader with 100,034 shares, changing hands for a value of $6,352,159 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 35 cents, followed by Massey Holdings Limited with a volume of 91,052 shares being traded for $340,961 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 2 cents. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies on the regional stock markets, we turn to the forex market. On July 15, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $72.01 million was bought from forex traders, while US $67.6 million was sold to forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $156.72 and bought US dollars for $155.66. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.06, which represents a profit for forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian forex traders earned a trading profit of $1.25 from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold at $115.81 and bought for $114.56. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $7.16, selling it for $203.48 and buying it for $196.32. Our credit report tip of the day is aimed at those planning on migrating. If the summer is the time you plan to migrate to a new country, one of the key factors that can ease this transition is having a strong credit score. A good credit score can help you gain favorable loan terms. Whether you need a personal loan to cover moving expenses or a mortgage for a new home, a strong credit score can help you secure better interest rates and loan terms. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Stay well informed, stay ahead of the curve. Until our next update, take care.
Thanks, Denise. In regional news, in Trinidad and Tobago, local carrier Caribbean Airlines is in a celebratory mode. Almost 5 years after announcing its intention to fly between Trinidad and Puerto Rico, Caribbean Airlines operated its first flight to San Juan. More in this report.
Caribbean Airlines' inaugural flight to San Juan, Puerto Rico departed the Piaco International Airport at 9:40 a.m. on Sunday. CAL's Chief Executive Officer, Gavin Madera, describing the destination as exciting and rich in history, said the new route is part of the airline's plan to ensure connectivity within the region.
This new route promises to serve the diverse needs of our passengers, whether it's for business meetings, leisure getaways, family reunions, or cultural exchanges.
But he noted the connection is a two-way street.
This connection is a two-way street. Puerto Rico will now have direct access to the English-speaking Caribbean, opening doors for exploration, trade, and cultural exchanges. Our expansion into Puerto Rico, and soon, very soon, the French Caribbean islands of Martinique and Guadeloupe, and the British Virgin Islands to Tortola, underscores our mission to be the airline of choice for Caribbean travelers.
Witnessing the departure of the inaugural flight, Minister of Works and Transport Rohan Sinanan testified to CAL's standard of service.
Recently, I did 3 trips, and I think I used 6 different airlines. CAL was one of them. It'll be very difficult for me not to say that CAL was one of the better airlines that I traveled with. You have earned that reputation. There are people who would want to continue traveling with you. I can tell you, the food on your airline made me feel like I was in some big restaurant, some part of the world. I tell you, I was blown away.
To mark the occasion, CAL's customers on Sunday received goodie bags with Caribbean Airlines branded items and were treated to some entertainment. CAL says flights to San Juan will operate 3 times per week, Sunday, Tuesday and Friday, from the airline's base here in Trinidad. Stacey Ann Providence for TGT News.
Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit expressed optimism on Monday about reaching an agreement with the United Kingdom to reverse its decision to impose visa restrictions on Dominicans. The UK introduced the visa requirements on July 19 last year, citing migration and border security concerns. At a news conference, Skerrit mentioned ongoing efforts with the British government and highlighted a letter from former Home Secretary James Cleverly. He also emphasized the importance of sustaining and enhancing Dominica's citizenship by investment program to improve transparency and relations.
The issue of visa freeze, we continue to work with the British government. We received a letter from the last Minister of Home Affairs, Mr. Cleverly, on this, and it was a very positive letter. There's one outstanding, ongoing matter that we have to bring to some conclusion, and we're working on that. There's been some pushback from a legal standpoint, but I believe that we're going to be pushing a little hard on it. We'll be writing to the new minister to update her on what we have done and what we're doing, and to respond to the letter of her predecessor on this matter. So I believe that all things considered and the tone of the engagement with the UK government that we've had over the last several months, I'm satisfied at some point we will be able to see visa-free travel to the United Kingdom. And of course, some of the additional actions, which are not actions that they ask us for, or anybody's asked us for, but we should believe are important for the sustainability and the improvement of the transparency of the program that we are doing by ourselves. We believe that those actions will place us even a stronger position to make a case for the reintroduction of visa-free regime between Dominica and the United Kingdom. So we remain hopeful, and we continue to engage the UK government in a respectful, transparent manner.
In Grenada, Curacao and Petite Martinique received a significant boost in recovery efforts post-Hurricane Beryl with the arrival of relief supplies and building materials from Guyana and Suriname.
Relief supplies and building materials arrived in Carriacou over the weekend, generously provided by Guyana and Suriname to aid in the recovery and rebuilding efforts following the devastation caused by Hurricane Beryl. The donation was handed over by Mr. Kamal Singh, chairman of the Private Sector Commission of Guyana, who underscored the deep bonds of friendship between the nations. The supplies were received by Prime Minister the Honorable Deacon Mitchell and Minister for Carriacou and PBCJ Affairs and Local Government Devin Andrew. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell expressed his gratitude to the President and the people of Guyana and Suriname for their timely and generous assistance.
To my comrade and colleague, President Ali, I want to take the opportunity to thank him and President Santoki of Suriname for the relief supplies that is shown in the background, as well as the building materials that are on this vessel. It is coming at a critical time for the people of Carriacou and PBCJ. It is perhaps the single largest physical donation of relief and building material supplies so far that we've received. It's a 19-page manifest. It's testimony to the fact that our brothers and sisters within CARICOM have not just stocked support for Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but they're demonstrating it in a timely manner.
Representing both Guyana and Suriname, Mr. Kamal Singh spoke of the significance of the donation.
This effort was put together by His Excellency Lockyer Fanali in collaboration with the private sector throughout the length and breadth of Guyana. Immediately after Hurricane Beryl, we've worked assiduously and we've seen outpouring support from the entire private sector. And we have also seen support coming out from Suriname, helping to bring some of the relief effort that is here today to the people of Carriacou. The government and the private sector is very, very much excited to be part of this relief effort. We've seen the damage and the need that is desperately needed right now to bring back this island to normalcy and to bring back the roof over the head of many of these households who are currently without power, basic necessities, water, roof, proper building materials in their home.
In addition to the materials, over 50 soldiers from the Guyana Defense Force also arrived on the Sister Isle to assist with the recovery efforts in rebuilding infrastructure and restoring normalcy. The second-in-command of the contingent spoke of their mission to the Sister Isle.
And we're here to do some rehabilitation and renovation works to some buildings that were identified here. So we came here with an assessment team of 8 persons last week, Saturday, and this is the vessel that has arrived here today with the materials for us to conduct our work, as well as we have an additional 50 troops that has landed in Grenada this morning, who will be the main workforce to come across and do the job that has to be done. Because what we observed that most of the damages here on the building at Carriacou happen to be the roofing. So we have zinc sheets, wood for roofing and ceiling materials, as well as plumbing materials. That will be the bulk of the work that would be done. I cannot say exactly how long it would be, but I think it would be determined on the scope of work that has to be done.
The arrival of these supplies and the collaborative efforts of the Guyana Defense Force highlighted the importance of regional cooperation in times of crisis. This collaborative action exemplifies the resilience and unity of the Caribbean community, standing together to overcome challenges and build a brighter future for all. Rena Thomas, GBN News.
In sports, we put the spotlight on cricket. West Indies women's captain Hayley Matthews will spend a 3rd consecutive season with Melbourne Renegades after signing a 1-year deal for the upcoming 10th edition of the Women's Big Bash League in October. The 26-year-old all-rounder led the Renegades last season, scoring 255 runs at a strike rate of 114, taking 14 wickets with her off-spin. An elegant and attacking right-hander, Matthews scored 253 runs and took 9 wickets in her first season with the Renegades, who were knocked out in the final qualifier after finishing 2nd in the regular season. Matthews will be joined by former captain Sophie Milanu, who is returning after missing all of last season due to injury. And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thank you so much for watching.